Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's digital edition of Overdrive. Thank you so much for joining us yet again, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Thank you so much. Now, before we start off on any of the stories, I would like to remind you that the June issue of the Overdrive magazine is out on the website right now. If you haven't already downloaded your free copy, do so right now. Why is it that you should do it? That's because in our June issue, you'll find the most complete and detailed comparison of the Hyundai Creta and the Seltos. That is a story that everybody has been talking about for a really long time. We've dived right into it and we've got you a detailed comparison test on that. Also, on this month's issue, we have the exclusive reviews of the updated beast of the Green Hell, the 2020 Mercedes AMG GTR. We also have the Skoda Octavia RS 245. Apart from which, there's a slew of informative and entertaining features and first looks. It has been tough through this lockdown to bring you content, but as you can see, there's plenty to keep you busy. So head to our website and download your free copy right now. Now, moving on, the first story that we have for you on the show today is the newly launched BMW X6. It's the third generation model of the X6 that has been launched at 95 lakh rupees. There are two variants that have come into India, which is the X line and the M Sport. Take a look at the video.
After opening the bookings of the 2020 BMW X6 in India this January, the German carmaker has launched the third generation model with prices starting at Rs 95 lakh. Codenamed as a G06, the new X6 borrows the underpinnings of the new X5, which was launched in India last year. Therefore, it sits on a similar wheelbase, but the bodywork, in typical X6 manner, is beefy, outrageous, and full of styling cues from BMW's sports car range. Compared to the X5, the kidney grille on the X6 sits marginally lower and is narrower at the top but wider overall. BMW also gives you the option to illuminate the grille, but finding a music video to feature the car in is your lookout. The air dams are larger than the X5's too, and that adds the much needed boot stance that is reminiscent of the X6 line. The all-important coupe form is highlighted by the tail though, which now has a sportier and sharper appearance. The tail sits lower than the outgoing counterpart, and like the X4, it uses sleeker tail lights to highlight the connection with BMW's sports car range. Contributing further to that effect are two spoilers, a sloping split unit on the roof and a sharper blade-like spoiler on the edge of the hatch. Trapezoidal exhaust tips are the in thing at BMW, and the X6 gets its share too. BMW has only launched the petrol variants of the X6 in India so far, the xDrive 40i X line and the xDrive 40i M Sport. Both the variants use the same engine, a 340 PS 450 Nm 3-litre 6-cylinder turbo petrol with a ZF 8-speed automatic gearbox and the xDrive rear-biased all-wheel drive. The package is good for a 0 to 100 sprint time of 5.5 seconds. Damping duties are carried out by adaptive air suspension on both axles. The M Sport package comes equipped with sport brakes, a sport exhaust system, adaptive M suspension, the M aerodynamics package and 20-inch lightweight alloy wheels. Now, the alloy wheels on both the lines can be opted with a 21-inch size as well. Both these xDrive variants, the X line and the M Sport, are priced identically at Rs 95 lakh and are distinguished by the exterior styling cues and interior material choices. The X line goes with traditional options while the M Sport, as expected, chooses sportier styling cues.
Well, Rohit, thanks for joining us. Now, the X6 will be rivaling the Q8 as well as the GLE Coupe. Now, you have driven the Q8 as well. So, if you were to draw parallels, can you tell us something more?
I have not driven the new X6 though. So in terms of the body style, yes, you are absolutely right. Those are the natural rivals for the X6, the Audi Q8 and the Mercedes GLE Coupe. There is a new GLE that's out and with it a new GLE Coupe as well, which is not here in India yet, but it will be here very soon. And going by what the GLE is, yes, it's a lovely car. And the Q8, we absolutely loved it when we drove it. It has some of that Lamborghini DNA, that Porsche DNA, all filtering down because it essentially shares the same platform. So the Q8 is the car to beat. The first step that the BMW marketing gurus and the product gurus in India have managed is absolutely right. They've got it spot on. The pricing is excellent. The Q8 is priced very tall. You have the regular GLE, which is also priced very close to where we are at with the X6 right now. So, the pricing is something that BMW has been getting right with a lot of their products lately, and the X6 is no different. And that's something that I really like. But in terms of driving dynamics, BMW has always been the definition within the segment, right? When it comes to driving dynamics, when it comes to handling, when it comes to engine performance and all of that. So I'm guessing that the X6 is going to be no different. Why I'm using the word guessing is because we've also driven the X5, and the X5 sort of has given in to the customer demands of the car being more soft in its suspension, being more comfortable and all of that, and not an outright driving machine. But the X6, it's a different beast altogether, though it's based on the same platform. So I believe, looking at how soft they made the X5, I'm guessing that the X6 has become that much more sharper in that sense to make that clear demarcation between the two cars. So the X6 is definitely going to be something to look forward to if you're a driving enthusiast. And I'm really hoping that they've managed to get the dynamics absolutely right, absolutely spot on. And I hope it is something better than what I've already enjoyed with the Audi Q8. So this is one story that I'm waiting to do, get all these three cars, drive them on our favorite roads, and maybe hopefully even on a racetrack, and find out which is the best driver's car out of these three.
I'm sure our viewers would have a lot of queries about this as well. We'll get back to this once Bert joins us in a couple of minutes as well. But right now, India's second largest car manufacturer, Hyundai Motors, has resumed operations from the first week of May. And as of last week of May, they had also resumed operations in over 800 of their dealerships across the country, and have reportedly received excellent response on the new Creta as well as the new Verna. So in the next few minutes, Rohit, you will be catching up with Mr. Ganesh Mani, the Director of Production of Hyundai Motors India, to know more. Everybody, please listen in, jot down your questions. We will answer them after this interview. Hyundai Motors related queries only for starters. Over to you, Rohit.
Right. So we are going to be chatting with Mr. Mani. Like Sohini already mentioned, Hyundai has started their reboot operation a little while back now. The plant is back to producing vehicles. The dealerships have started opening. In some places, the dealerships are opening on an odd even kind of a format that is being adopted, even in places like Mumbai, where I am at right now. So all of that has now begun. They've started delivering vehicles. And in fact, the Creta became the best-selling model in India in these current times, which is not hard to see why, because the Creta did get a lot of bookings before the lockdown was enforced, and that is something that they're delivering on right away. But that's not what we are here to talk about. We are here to talk about what is the future for Hyundai Motor India in the current times, and that is why we have with us Mr. Mani. So welcome on board, Mr. Mani. Let's quickly wait for him. Yes, there he is. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Mani. I believe you're joining us from Chennai, is it?
Yeah, that's right. I'm right on my factory, up and running in full swing. We are from Chennai. We joined. Yeah.
Great. So, Mr. Mani, since you're at the plant already, and there's a lot of news about not just the production facility resuming, but also your dealerships opening business again. How much has life changed for Hyundai Motors in the current scenario? Has it really changed, or is it just the rules and regulations that, of course, we are all following, but from a perspective of manufacturing, rolling vehicles out to the showroom, delivering it to the customers, is life still what it used to be with a few changes here and there, or has it changed drastically?
Well, okay. Thanks, Rohit, and it's a pleasure talking to you guys always. And hello, viewers, and good evening to all of you. The Indian car market has undergone many upheavals since 2019, and of course, in the end of March 20, everything came to a grinding halt, and we started off with the zero base from April onwards. We all know it. So Hyundai, as a responsible company, we initially started off, suspending our production operations. And, as Karen Sullivan said, in the face of adversity, we always have two choices. You can be either bitter or better. We chose the second one. And, while all these things were going on, we were working on safeguarding our facilities, talking to our customers, interacting with them, reassuring them, and also all our stakeholders, all our employees. Having done all these things, when the government of India and the local government has allowed us to prepare starting up that, which we call it as a restart and revive phase, we started thoroughly following adherent to all the compliances of the government. We started off on May 8th of 2020, and the enthusiasm and exuberance of the people, which I would like to quote an experience which I've also gone through, is that a casual remark on my LinkedIn profile saying that it's a humble contribution of Hyundai to reviving Indian economy with the first 200 vehicles on the first day, as evoked more than 100,000 responses, and with so many people positively responding to that, the customers and the people in MSMEs and all the other people. So that clearly indicates that India is up and the roll, rolling. And to answer your question to further, with that beginning, with all our supply chain partners, all our dealers partners, and incidentally, more than 97% of our dealer partners are open now and up and running, and following all the guidance of governments, local governments, and the central government's rules. And we are able to go 20,000 plus volumes in the plant, and we are able to start supplying to the waiting customers. So as always say that the positivity always gets infected, and it gets quickly moving on to others. The customers also have responded back with a fantastic booking of more than 20,000 Cretas in a short span of time. And that's how we started off our operations. And the most important thing is we are able to ensure that the way how we make the products and the way we deliver the products, a whole lot of changes have come. And incidentally, touchless economy or no touch economy is a new buzzword which is coming across. Similarly, how far we can actually convert it into a better preparations of your facilities, all the other things were very important. Just to give in certain numbers, we just made a study on when the people are entering into the plant, how many places they use their hands. And we made more than 7,200 different points of change of social distancing differences what we could possibly do. Same thing of same sanitization, and also all the other areas in terms of the way how we deliver the products, and as well as the workshops of service also. Incidentally, more than 80% of our service workload has also come back. So it's a great beginning and a great day.
Right. In fact, we have visited your facility quite a few times, and all the smiling faces that we've always met at Hyundai are now behind masks like the rest of the country. And like you just mentioned, there are quite a few new processes in terms of the social distancing, in terms of the new world order that you're also following. Do you expect these to affect business in any way?
Okay, I mean, COVID has not only infected, but also as part of an inflection towards the economy. I always would say that with a born optimistic mindset. So that inflection has come in a very different way. I mean, social distancing has also converted into a smart distancing of people in terms of physically, but mentally united very strongly, be the employees or the customers put together. Car purchase is always an emotional thing. People love to feel and have their product actually felt and driven the way what you just now talked to during the interview as well. So it still continue to play a role, and we are ensuring that the sanitization and all the other hygiene factor are very, very paramount importance to us. As you all know that there are three important factors which always customers give preferences in terms of hygiene, health, and safety. And Hyundai has been the pioneer of producing the products, always keeping that in view, and also physically the way you are seeing it on the visuals, as the way how we actually ensure that the products are actually sold across in that perspective manner. But also as a part of our Hyundai Care initiatives, we are also get up to meet the customers' confidence while ensuring the safe showroom and workshop environment, and the way how we make our product also inside our plant. And that will continue to have an existing as well as our the new customers as well. In addition to that, I also am proud to say that we are the first pioneers in terms of introducing something called as a click to buy as an option in the month of January itself. But now we have gone in for one upgraded version of 1.5, and that encompasses the end-to-end process customer experience, in terms of buying experience itself, and it is being received very, very enthusiastically by our customers. And we like to continue keeping our customers surprising by introducing all those digital innovations in the showroom, as well as the way how the product is actually being made also.
Okay. And given the current state of things and how we are going ahead with these digital initiatives and also safeguarding the traditional way of buying the car with all the new age rules and regulations that we now have to follow as a part of the post-pandemic world, do you see these digital initiatives like the click to buy specifically? Do you see these being a long-term solution now, or is it a stopgap solution until life resumes to normal?
Rohit, as William Shakespeare said, things done well with care exempt themselves from fear. And in fact, this is a kind of a added advantage to us. To quote an example, when software industries really work from home as a culture for many years, as a manufacturing industry, most of the automotive industry also have gone from the work from home as a culture. We have converted that into a huge amount of opportunities. We were able to continue taking an advantage of work from home as a concept, and which we are continuing even after the opening up also. So we are having both benefit of work from home, certain employees who can continue to work, as well as coming here and start making the product assets. So similar things goes for this initiative also. This is an advantage where people love to visit the websites, keep seeing the way they keep seeing the overdrive kind of the input which has come from these kind of magazines and websites. And apart from that, they also like to go on to click to buy as an option and continue to have. Having said that, with the dealer partners in our hands, both the things will continue to happen, and it's going to make a huge advantages for both the customers as well as the the manufacturers like OEMs as well. Having said that, there is always a possibility that dealers also will move on to the actual experiential learning of through a video conferencing. People can actually connect with the people. So there are a whole lot of new opportunities which got developed by pandemic of COVID-19 itself. And click to buy is going to stay, and I'm sure people love to have both ways of physical as well as the usage of the technological trend as well. Yeah.
Okay. Now moving on to the Creta. The Creta is again back in the news for being the highest sold model in India in these current challenging times. Of course, a bit of that also comes from the amount of bookings that you guys received before the lockdown was enforced, and I'm sure those deliveries are also counting up to the big headlines that it's created right now. But
Yes.
what is the buyer activity like? Do you foresee this continuing? Do you see this pattern continuing? Or do you see that the buyer activity will now go back to maybe used cars, maybe hatchbacks? Why I'm also asking this is because you have a premium hatchback coming up, the new i20. Just before with the lockdown, we got a glimpse of what the car is all about. Where do you see the buyer preferences heading going forward? Is the Creta the right example, or no? Now the pattern is going to shift back to hatchbacks and premium hatchbacks. What is your
Okay.
viewpoint?
Right, Rohit, amongst many other changes, COVID has also thrown one more important redefinition of what is the definition of short-term, mid-term, and long-term. Earlier, short-term used to be of 6 months to 8 months or 1 year. Now, a short-term is actually tomorrow. So, as far as tomorrow is concerned, absolutely the product which are coming out of pipelines are absolutely strong. There are a whole lot of enthusiasm which is being developed. Internal the enthusiasm developed by the customers, and they are really liking our product. And similarly, the similar kind of product pipeline will continue to have as a new product also. And a lot of studies keep saying that there is people will prefer to have their own ownership model, converting from the subscription model, which we also have a strong tie-up with, a strategic tie-up with our partners. I think people will move from a ownership to the usership perspective. And apart from all these things, I believe the strong focus will always be on a personal ownership of cars, which each one of us are able to witness the kind of the market revival what we are seeing in our products. And the recent launch of Verna and also Creta has shown that the customers would like to prefer their own products, and rest of the things also will continue to happen. But to answer your question on how the change would happen, we should be prepared to have in all lines supplies, especially the new car product, which will continue to have our focus on those. And as far as our new products are concerned, I'm also happy to share with the viewers that, as always, as a global players, our play has always been our introduction of new models have accelerated rather than any kind of postponement will happen. So all our new products are going to be in pipeline. I'm not going to say that which model is going to come, which model name is going to be as a part of a policy, but we'll continue to surprise our customers, Indian customers, in a much more profound love and affection, the way we've always been doing.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Mani. That's something that we'll all look forward to. There is indeed a exciting product lineup that Hyundai has been talking about for some time now, and that's something that we can all look forward to. Thank you so much for having this chat with us, Mr. Mani, and it's really nice to see you back in your office. That's, again, a big ray of hope for everyone out there who doesn't want to work from home and who wants to resume work like it was back in the day. So, like I said, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for staying with us. With that, back to Sohini.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rohit. Thanks for being that. Thank you.
Sohini, we can't hear you.
Okay.
Sohini, we are
Thank
able
you
to
so
hear
much.
you. Yeah.
Bert, you've joined us from a very interesting, from a car, is it?
Yes, I'm in the new A6 that was just released last year, October. So I was just driving that around. Now you know that my knee has been giving me a bit of a problem, so I needed an automatic to drive around, and Audi was gracious enough to lend me this car for some time. And I'm enjoying this. It's a nice car, automatic, comfortable to drive. But yeah, I'm in the car today trying out something entirely new.
Yeah, it actually looks very refreshing, considering we are still cooped up at home.
Well, I'm still
Rohit
parked
doesn't
under
look
my
very
house.
happy.
I'm parked under my house as well. I've not gone out anywhere in that way. But yeah, and this is something I, in fact, spoken about quite some time ago. I mean, you could definitely use your car as a workspace because there's no one to disturb you out here if you're working from home. It's a environment. Switch on the AC when you want to, others roll down the windows. There's fresh air. A lovely place to sit and actually work in. Anyone can do this in their own cars, for that matter. Just sit down there, undisturbed, solace. You've got all the peace and quiet that you'd need.
All right. So we started off the show with the BMW X6. It has just been launched, and we thought we'd wait for you to join us so that we could talk a little more about it. So, Bert, what is your view on that?
Well, the X6, again, it's always been a fantastic car to drive. Very interesting car to drive in that sense. The more sportier of most of the other SUVs in the lot. But having said that, it's a small audience. It's a very niche audience that has been buying into that car. And does it still, continue to make sense for India? Yes, there are people who look at it. It's a stylish vehicle. It's a big, large vehicle, especially like those big, large air intakes on the sides.
So, I think we lost Bert's audio there. Rohit, can you?
Yes, I think Bert's audio is muted, if I'm not wrong.
No, it's
I
actually
can't
his
hear any
connection.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll have to, yeah, see, he is. All right. So we'll catch up with Bert once he
Yes.
tunes in once again. So maybe we should just carry on with our news for starters.
Yes, we could do
Now we
that.
have some very interesting news coming in from Nissan as well. Now the scoop, of course, is now we had said a couple of like on our website, the news is already out that Nissan will be bringing in its sub 4-meter SUV, the Magnite, to India in August. It will be, now the main news that we are about to give people is that it will be under 5 lakh rupees. We believe the SUV is based on the CMFA platform that underpins the Quid and the Triber, and might also get the 1 liter naturally aspirated petrol as the Triber. The 1 liter turbo petrol with the CVT could also make it down to India, and it will be manufactured at the company's Oragadam plant in Chennai. Okay, we seem to have Bert as well. Bert?
Hi, Sohini. So this the news about Nissan's next SUV, the compact SUV, coming in. Well, that's something we've heard in certain circles. from certain sources in the company saying that this could very well, and what their attempt is effectively to get it under 5 lakh rupees. Are they going to be successful at doing that? I'm not sure. But there's very, very strong, how do I
Bert's
say
audio
it?
still seems to be muted. Our new world problems still continue because
No,
there's
I
an
can
issue
hear
of the
Well,
Bert.
can you hear
network.
me?
I can hear
Okay,
Bert.
Well, these network
I
issues are
can't.
always going to
I can't hear
exist.
him.
Okay, so,
No, I
well,
don't think his
the sub
audio
5
is
lakh rupee.
on.
No, I think I've got my audio on. Can you hear me, Sohini?
Yes, yes, I can. I think
So yeah, so
yes.
Nissan India is pushing very hard for the Magnite to start off under 5 lakh rupees. That's the target price. That's the target. They're working very hard towards getting that price down under 5. That'll be the entry point, and of course, then prices will go up to what level we're not entirely sure, but expected to compete against the Venue and the Sonnet when that comes in. Now, all of these products are lined up for the next few months. Keep in mind, we've got Kia that's lining up the Sonnet. That will also come up in another 2 months or so. 2 to 3 months is when the launch the commercial launch for that product should happen. This is June, July, September, July, August, September. So yeah, by September I think the car should be out in the market. And then of course we've got your Nissan that will eventually come up with it. I think this is still some time, about a year left to go for that product to be out. But this is that segment. It's getting populated. It's getting crowded. There's a lot of action happening over here. The one that comes on top will, of course, be the one that has the cost advantage, along with the design and styling advantage, and of course the feature set as well that they would have to offer in this segment.
Right. In fact, since you were talking about pricing, I'm just going to put a little bit of a perspective here. The Espresso, it tops at about 4.99 lakh rupees. That's the top end model, and the Quid is at about 5.12 lakh rupees. And the car that sits slightly higher, but in a similar body style, which is the KUV, that starts at 5.6 lakhs and goes all the way up to 7.22 lakh rupees. So I think that's a similar price bracket that the Magnite is going to try and exploit. Now, the sub 4 meter is a term that we are constantly hearing with the Magnite, but this is not a Brezza or a Nexon or a Venue rival. This is more of a KUV 100 rival. Expect that kind of a size, maybe half a size larger than that. Like Sohini also mentioned, it is based on the CMFA platform that also underpins the Triber. So essentially, that's the kind of size that you're looking at. It's not a full size sub 4 meter SUV like the Brezza
So
or any of its rivals.
Rohit, what we know also is that this vehicle was previously the Datsun Go Cross. This was the compact SUV that Datsun was supposed to come out with. But
Right.
Nissan and of course there's been a lot more potential for this to come out under the Nissan brand for that matter, and that's what it is, right? That's what it is doing right now. So that's how they're getting it out in the market. Effectively, I had seen this product some years ago, and it was a very handsome product, probably something that Nissan should have got out all those years ago. But back then it wasn't a sub 4 meter SUV. It was just a little over 4 meters. But
Right.
well, the engineers at Datsun had definitely had revealed that the potential to bring this down sub 4 meters was not was not a big challenge. They had already lined that up. There were plans for that as well. This is essentially again Datsun that was supposed to come out, but will on the cards.
Right. In fact, adding to what you're saying, even the teaser that came out from Nissan about its entire A to Z lineup that Sohini is constantly playing on the screen,
Nissan
the,
Next.
the grill shape is actually very similar to what a Datsun would wear instead of a Nissan. So you do not have that V motion grill that you see on a Nissan. It's more of that diamond shaped grill that you also get on Datsun cars. So that is something that again is a bit of a scoop for you guys. But yeah, like Sohini mentioned, two engine options are expected. There's a 1 liter naturally aspirated engine, 72 PS, 96 Newton meters. And there's also the 1 liter turbocharged variant, which will have about 100 PS of power and 160 Newton meters of torque, which I think in this kind of a package should be something really nice. There are no diesel options coming out. It will be petrol only. In fact, Nissan is going petrol only with most of its lineup, something that we've also seen with the Kicks recently, where the diesel was replaced with the new 1.3. And even with the Magnite, it will be petrol only. And probably that is the reason why they will be able to achieve that sub 5 lakh rupees starting price point.
And this is a very important product for Nissan, right? Given that the Micra has just been
It
discontinued,
is
the Sunny
actually
has
a
been discontinued.
make or break product for Nissan, is what I would say at this point of time. All their hopes for their operations in India literally hang from this one product. So Nissan has to get it right, and I'm guessing that this time they will leave no stone unturned to make sure that they get the product right at the right price point with the right features and with everything that the consumer expects from this particular price point and size.
Now, since we're talking about that price point, we have a query coming in from Shantanu Roy. He wants to know what is the best car under 6 lakh rupees right now.
Well, it will all depend on what
The
kind of a body style you're looking at. I think it will you will have a host of hatchbacks available. You will have some compact SUVs like or cars that claim to be compact SUVs like the Espresso or even the new Kwid. You have vehicles like that. You can also look at the pre-owned market, which opens up a whole new range of options for you. So you'll have to be a little more specific. So maybe we can take this question again in a bit. If you can be a little more specific on what kind of a vehicle are you looking at under 6 lakh rupees, that will help us narrow down the options. Or if you have any vehicle in mind, if you have any names in mind, you could probably jot that down here and we could help you accordingly.
Binu Babu wants to know that what about the maintenance cost of Nissan?
In fact, like most Japanese car makers, Nissan too has managed to keep its maintenance cost quite low. Even with all the overheads that the dealers are currently going through and all of that, they've still managed to have some really low service packages, ease of use in terms of the spares cost and the service cost and all of that. So no horror stories coming out about exorbitant bills or whatever from the Nissan camp really. So service cost is not a problem. But as is true with any other vehicle that is discontinued in the market, if you're investing in a product or if you have a product that has been discontinued, sourcing of these parts could be a challenge depending on how old the product is. But in terms of absolute cost, it's not a big worry.
Okay. Also,
So the greatest challenge, the biggest challenge for
yeah.
Nissan in India will, of course, be the network. They need a strong enough network to push a car like the Magnite as well. And some of the challenges that Nissan faces are this supply chain and, of course, the network that they've got in India. If they're able to sort this out, then it's definitely a much better proposition for them and for the consumers at the end of the day as well.
Also, there's one more question which comes in from Adit Dave. He wants to know what went wrong with the kicks. He
Okay,
thought it was
I'll take
priced
that
well as
question.
well.
But I'll take that question if you're okay with it, because I know Bert likes the kicks quite a bit. I don't. That's why I'm taking this question before he says something. Now the reason is I have driven the kicks that they sell in the European market and also in the Middle East Asian market, and that kicks is completely different. That kicks feels a lot like the S Cross to drive. Where essentially means that it feels very modern, it feels very car-like to drive, it's very easy. And those are the attributes that really made the kicks very successful in those markets. However, when they came to India, they just completely changed the strategy. They used the underpinnings of the Duster, which helped them keep the cost low. They changed the top hat to look like the kicks that is sold in the global markets. But the downside to that was it felt like a Duster when you drive it. Primarily the kickback that you get in the steering wheel, the kind of quality you get in the materials, all of that still felt a lot like the Duster or the Terrano. And that is where I think they sort of just lost it, because there were new products in the market. There was the Creta to beat, there is the Seltos that came out, and all those products feel a lot more modern in that sense, a lot more premium as compared to what Nissan could offer with the Duster platform. And that is where I think it all went wrong for the kicks. Over to you, Bert.
All right.
Well, I'll agree with Rohit on that count. I do. The reasons I liked it because it was a little rough around the edges as well. It had the duster like feel, which meant I could throw it around. You could be a little more, you didn't need to be too delicate with it in that sense. So you could really do a lot of things with the kicks. But yeah, I get where you're coming from, Rohit, and I understand all of those. For someone who's looking for a more evolved SUV in that space, the kicks didn't really tick all the boxes that they'd want. I guess that's where it kind of that was what was lacking in that product.
Okay, there's another interesting question coming in. How good is it to buy the base model of the new Creta? We've just driven it. We have put out the road test as well. So over to you.
Right. So
Well, Sohini,
I
I think
did
you
the
can.
comparison. Yes,
Sorry?
Gaurav.
Sorry, I think Mr. Money is still waiting on the other end, and I think we can log him off of this conversation.
No,
Could
he's
you
logged
check
out.
and just see? He's logged
He's
out. All
logged
right,
out.
perfect. Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect, perfect. Yeah, sorry, Rohit. Sorry to interrupt you.
No problem. So, yeah, we recently did the comparison of the Seltos and the Creta, and that's something for you guys to read. But what we also found out during that comparison is, though the Seltos offers a lot more variants to choose from, the packaging of the Creta is slightly better in the sense that the feature distribution has been slightly better with the Creta. That's something that we also saw before the facelift, the little update that they'd done a couple of years ago. They had sort of repositioned the Creta in a way, and they'd also reshuffled a few features here and there. And those learnings are sort of visible in the new Creta as well. So going with the base model of a Seltos versus a Creta, I would go with the Creta because it's slightly better spec in that sense. But if you have to go top end, if you have all the money in the world to splurge on either of these two cars, the Seltos would be it because when you finally do the tally, the Seltos is the one that offers better features overall.
But
Well,
Vikrant,
this is Sohini, the question.
sorry.
Yeah, Vikrant's question. New Creta and
Yeah,
2020
yeah,
Harrier. Which one is best? And I want to
yeah.
take this because this is tomorrow morning I'm going to have tons of trolls on my Twitter timeline for the answers I'm going to give. But yeah, since we are live, I'm going to take this question. Is the Creta or the Harrier better? I'll give you this much. Tata Motors has designed a fantastic looking vehicle. The Harrier looks spectacular. It's absolutely fantastic in that sense. It's got the street presence. It's one of an SUV in that category, in that price bracket. It's also got fairly nice interiors. The ride quality also is not too bad. And, the drivetrain also not too bad overall. But would I buy it over the Creta? I don't think so. I don't think the Creta holds a candle to the way the Harrier is styled for that matter. But the way that the Creta is built, the way it feels to drive is so much more contemporary. It's so much more easier, so much more friendlier for that matter. It does a lot of things in a far better manner. In fact, you can go back to our mega SUV test that we did the last year, sometime around the same, actually a little later in the year, of course, in 2019. But that effectively had, it shows up where the Harrier and some of the other SUVs, where they exactly stand, and it wasn't a great place to be there. So I think there are shortcomings. Tata Motors can definitely, but it's a huge step up from whatever Tata Motors has had to offer in that space. But I still don't think it's up there with the rest of the lot in that segment.
Rohit, would you want to add something more?
Oh, I think he summed it up pretty nicely. I think the only thing that gives the Harrier an upper hand is the cabin space. So if you necessarily need a huge cabin, then yeah, you will probably have to go with the Harrier. Not like the Creta is any cramped on space. Even the rear seat space is now so much better than the outgoing car. But of course, it's not a match for the kind of space that the Harrier offers. So if you need that SUV that looks like an SUV, has the space of maybe a SUV from a size larger or a segment higher, the Harrier could be a better choice. But if it's purely down to features, build quality, and of the feeling of a modern SUV or a crossover for that matter, it is the Creta.
Okay, we'll just move on to our motoring news section. Another four-wheeler
Yes.
news. We have the Chinese manufacturer Shangren was planning to debut their products in India earlier next year, but the changing times as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic situation has delayed the manufacturer's plans in India. They do believe this pandemic will have a negative influence on car buying decisions in the country. So at present, the manufacturer is rumored to be considering a partnership with an automobile manufacturer in India as and when it enters the Indian market. Right.
Right, I think this was something that was expected. In fact, we saw quite a few Chinese brands present at the Auto Expo as well. Again, with a similar lookout where they want to tie up with Indian manufacturers or with Indian distributors for their products. And of course, I believe that the times are tough for everyone, and China is no different in that sense. And with the entire motoring market right now taking a bit of a step back from buying and splurging on automobiles, it is bound to happen that any new entrant might want to be a little more careful about what they're planning, their strategies, and all of that, because the established players themselves are sort of struggling with what strategies to adopt. So new players will certainly wait and watch, is what I believe.
But there are also going to be further delays in all of these projects, especially the Chinese manufacturers are going to come to India in the near future simply because of the political environment that exists in the country at this stage. With the whole India-China fiasco and the imbroglio that's happening around the border areas, things are pretty pretty sensitive, and this is definitely going to affect business both ways, both from India to China and from China to India. But having said that, let's it's just a wait and watch and see what happens. How are the products? How are they doing? Going to do in the country? No one can say really till they actually launch those products in India. We've seen some of them at the Auto Expo, and they're quite promising in quite a few ways. Right, I think unless we test drive them and get a sense of what they're up to, it's too early to say what these manufacturers are going to be up to. But yeah, there are definitely going to be delays.
Right. And
All
another
right.
little bit of scoop and news from the Chinese camp, though, is MG has confirmed to us that the Hector Plus, which is a seven-seater variant, and also the Gloucester, which was shown at the Auto Expo, are both on schedule and they are coming to India this year. So I think somewhere around August is when the Hector Plus will come out, and around the same time, they'll also open bookings for the bigger SUV, which is the Gloucester.
The Gloucester.
Okay. Rohit, would you like to go ahead and give our viewers the two-wheeler news for this week?
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that. So, what do we have to begin with? We have the Bonneville Blacks, the T100 Black and the T120 Black, both of which have been launched today. It's a fresh news coming out this morning. And the good news is that now you can go with the T100 or the T120 Bonneville and decide to either go with a chromed out version, which is the regular Bonneville that we are getting so far, or the black version, which is now launched today. Both are identically priced. So the T120 regular and the T120 black are identically priced. Same goes for the T100. You have the pricing on the screen, 9.97 lakh for the T120 and about 8.84 lakh, if I'm not wrong, for the T100 black.
Yeah. Somewhere just
So
a little
what
over 8.5 lakhs.
Right. So what is black is essentially you get the engine casings, the wheels, the mirrors, the turn blinkers, and those iconic pea-shooter exhausts. They're all done up in black, and that is what qualifies these bikes for being the black edition. Like I said, it's the same price as the regular counterpart, so it's just up to you and what preference you have. Now, Triumph hasn't said if this is going to be a limited run or whatever. So as of now, they're all available, and these also qualify for the new finance schemes that Triumph announced a little while back, where they will take care of the first three EMIs under a structure repayment schedule. So they'll pay those three EMIs for you. It's not a deferred payment. They will pay those three EMIs. So if you've been waiting to get yourself a T100 or the T120, right now could be a good time to speak to your Triumph dealer, who, by the way, might have opened operations already because most Triumph dealers are now open for business. And then moving on to the other scoop that we
So Rohit,
broke
we've got before you go on to the next one, there's a question I think you should answer here: F900R or the Triumph Street Triple RS? And I believe you've ridden both of them for that matter, so you would have a better idea on what they are.
So in fact, I'll take that question just after we finish the next news because it is related to what this question is about. So now the F900 has been launched at a brilliant price. And now the S1000 XR is also coming up next month. That's the scoop. That's the news that we broke earlier this week. And yes, it is coming next month. The booking should open by the end of this month, is what we are told. This is essentially the successor to the S1000 XR that we already had in the country, but this now borrows the new engine that you get in the new S1000 RR. It is obviously retuned for street performance. It puts out about 165 PS of power and about 112 Newton meters of torque. Even the suspension has been retuned now, has been changed for better comfort overall. So around the softer settings, it is now a little more comfortable than the previous S1000 XR. And on the dynamic setting, it's a little more sharper. So sharper turn-ins and all of that is expected. Now that's a motorcycle that we are waiting to ride. It will be available in a Pro variant as well. There's a slew of electronics available. The semi-active suspension is going to be standard on the new S1000 XR. And the Pro models will obviously come with stuff like cruise control, a bi-directional quick shifter, all of that. But now coming back to the question that someone just posted about the F900 versus the Street Triple, I think if you're talking about the F900 XR, that's actually an adventure tourer, and that would, in my books, make more sense over a street bike like the Street Triple RS. But if you're talking about the F900 naked motorcycle versus the Street Triple RS, then I think I would buy the Street Triple RS. Of course, the BMW, being a BMW, comes with a better kit, a host of electronics and all of that. But somewhere, having ridden the Street Triple RS, I have a better emotional connect with the Street Triple RS. But if you are purely looking at value for money, then yes, right now, at least at the introductory price that they're being offered at, the F900 twins, the XR as well as the naked, they are at a very tempting price tag, and they have a huge kit on offer, including that electronic suspension. So that is something that you should definitely look at and see what appeals more to you in terms of the features. But I think in terms of pure riding dynamics, if it's the nakeds that you're comparing, I would go with the Street Triple RS. But if it's the XR that you're comparing, then I think I would no, the F900R. I'm so sorry, I didn't read that right. So yeah, between the 900R and the Street Triple RS, I would personally go with the RS.
Bert, would you like to add something to that?
Yeah. Well, not really. I haven't ridden either of these two motorcycles, so I'm still waiting. Like I said, I'm still in the lockdown mode, a much longer, prolonged lockdown mode. Till my knee gets back into shape, well, I'm out of bounds where motorcycles are concerned.
All right. Rohit, there is one more motorcycle news that you want to give us.
Yes, that's the TNT 600. Well, that's not what it's called. Yes, there is a TNT 600 in the market already, aging and old and not something that I would recommend to anyone right now. But there is the new TNT 600 that you see on the screen. Right now, it is called the QJ SRK 600. It's a Chinese product. It's also called the Chase 600, is what we're told. But this is a QJ motor product, which is Benelli's sister brand. But this will also be the Benelli TNT 600 from 2020. And that is something that's expected to come to the Indian market as well. Still continues to use a 600cc four-cylinder engine. You can see that Kawasaki Z800 inspired styling or the Z1000 inspired styling, and the way it shows off those four exhaust pipes, the header pipes, it just looks very nice. The engine is now slightly low on power, at least in the Chinese market. It puts out 81 PS and about 55 Newton meters of torque. Now, whether these are the figures that the engine will have when it gets its BS6 tune and all of that is something that remains to be seen. But I believe that the power output would be in the same zone. But it's mainly the design that is the big talking point for this bike now. The design is up with the times, and so is some of the equipment. You get a 5-inch TFT display. You get a quick shifter, is what I'm told. You also get a keyless go. So that's another feature that is usually reserved to motorcycles that are 20 lakh and up, and that's a nice feature that you have now with this particular price point. You also have backlit switches and all of that. Now, the expected price point for this is going to be slightly higher than the outgoing TNT 600. So between 6.5 lakhs to 7 lakhs is the expected pricing for this. When will this come to India? Well, we don't know so far. Like I said, as of now, it's not got the Benelli branding. The Benelli branded bike could be out by the end of this year, and hopefully by early 2021, we should see this motorcycle in India, replacing the current 600i or the TNT 600 as we know of it. So that's all the motorcycle news that we have. Now, before we jump to the questions, there is one more bit of news that I would want to add here. Sony showed off the new PlayStation 5 yesterday. And the bigger news is, of course, with the PlayStation 5, they showed off a lot of PS exclusive titles that are expected to come out very soon. And what you see on the screen right now is the new Gran Turismo 7. I'm already smiling and laughing and giggling like a kid looking at the teasers and the gameplay footage that is being shown. Yeah, I mean, I know there's a new Xbox coming. I'm hoping there's a new Forza coming, but then Gran Turismo is always a Gran Turismo, and the GT7, I think, yes, like you see on the screen, GT is back, and there's a lot to look forward to. I mean, I have a few names here. You saw the Mazda RX Vision GT3. That's the main car that is being showed off in the teasers and the trailers. And what you see on the screen, there's a Porsche 917 in the Gulf livery as well. There's a Porsche Carrera GT coming. What you see on the screen again, that's the Subaru WRX STI from the
Rohit, there will be a lot of cars. There will be a lot of
There'll
cars.
be a lot of cars. Yes, there'll be a lot of cars. There's a lot of tracks as well.
All about yeah.
But yeah, that is one game that everyone can look forward to. I don't know when the release is going to be. That's always been a pain point with Gran Turismo titles. They just keep teasing and teasing and teasing, and it takes years for the GT title to come out. But hopefully this time GT7 will come out not later than 2021. So that's something to look forward to. So if you like end of the year buying, if you like Christmas buying and all of that, yes, there is a new PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X coming out. So I think we should buy both the consoles.
Well, I've been hounded by my son already, so yes, you can
I'm
imagine that's
sure.
on the
I
card
heard
for
your
sure.
PlayStation's already fried, so yeah, PS5 could be the nice upgrade.
Yeah,
But
the lockdowns fried my PlayStation. Then it's gone in for a service. So let's see. Hopefully, a PS5 maybe on the cards. You never know.
I think yeah, we
Uh,
should do that, and we should hopefully do a gaming party if the social distancing norms allow it.
The thing has to still be maintained. Absolutely.
and you should stream it as well. There will be plenty of people who would want to see you playing it as well.
That's not a bad
I'm
idea,
not one of the
actually.
erasers. I'm not one of the erasers. No, I'm not getting onto that bandwagon at all.
Actually,
Okay.
it wasn't a very bad thing at the beginning of the lockdown, March, when the races were cancelled and everything. I actually got hooked onto it, but I'm not very convinced that I'm hooked onto it anymore. Now that I know that the actual racing is going to resume, it makes no sense to sit and watch
Right.
someone race. So we'll just move on to our questions now.
Yes.
Vinod Kumar would want to know some details about the Mahindra Thar, the upcoming Mahindra Thar.
Okay, so I'll take that question. I had a long chat with Mahindra at the Auto Expo, and the new Thar was all set to be launched by August, is what we were told. And I think that schedule still stays. I don't see why it would be delayed now because Mahindra is also resuming operations. So around the festive season is when the new Thar will come out. It's all ready, completely decked up with new features, a new infotainment system, new cabin, new exterior design, a lot of Jeep Wrangler inspiration as always in there. So yes, all of that will happen, and August still might be the date or the month when the new Thar will come out.
But this next question is for you. Vikrant Sharma wants to know, is the Isuzu MUX the best?
No, not. It isn't. There are definitely better SUVs at that price bracket and for that size as well. So yeah, no, the MUX is definitely not the best. The D Max is a whole different ball game because you get the same kind of space, interiors, seating, but it's largely for those who are looking for a lot more adventure in their trips, so looking for a lot more utility, stylish utility. But as the MUX stands, it's not a bad SUV. It's definitely a large SUV on a budget, but it still doesn't have the refinement that some of the others in that segment offer.
All right, our next question comes in from Nitin Joshua. He wants to know, when will the new Honda City launch, and when will the deliveries start, and will the top-end petrol automatic be available at 15 lakhs ex-showroom?
Well, Nitin, we don't exactly know what the pricing is going to be like, where it's going to be priced, and what for that petrol automatic as yet. Those details haven't been really released as yet. There is still some time for that. But what we do know is that the launch is slated to be to come up in the next couple of months. So expect sometime around August. Again, the pandemic, of course, has delayed all of these plans. Has delayed whatever launches that manufacturers had slated for this year. And Honda effectively has also been delayed by this. That delay has set them back by a couple more months. So I think August is when we're looking at a release for the new City.
All right, and Rohit, is there any news of the KTM 890 Duke? Is it coming to India?
Okay, now there's too much uncertainty about that topic really. So 890 is a slightly new engine and within the latest norms and everything, but KTM India have also got the 790 engine to be BS6 compliant. So they don't necessarily need to bring in the 890. Also, the other problem has been the 790 Duke itself. The pricing at which it came out, it wasn't really a commercial success for KTM. So they are in sort of two minds whether the higher CC game is working for them or not. So they are still going to go with the 790 Adventure and give it a try again. The 790 Duke BS6 was expected to come out in August. So even that is something that they are going to again launch in the market and see how the response is this time around. The 790 Adventure is something that they're betting big on. So if the 790 Adventure takes off, then the big bike business for KTM India will be completely greenlit. Let's put it that way. And if that happens, then maybe there's a chance for the 890 to come in. But again, the reason why the 790 Duke did not do too well in India, despite all of its merits, is because of the pricing. So if they couldn't get the pricing right with the 790 Duke, which was an outgoing model, which was older tech and all of that, I'm not sure if they'll be able to get the 890 Duke's pricing right. And if they don't get the pricing right, it just beats the whole idea of what KTM is all about. It has to be performance on a budget. And if it doesn't achieve that, then there's no business sense for them. So yeah, it's still a gray area. We can't say yes or no for the 890 Duke.
But Vinod Kumar writes in saying, will Maruti bring back the BS6 diesel in the Ertiga and other cars?
Well, nothing has been nothing immediate for that matter. Maruti is definitely working on a diesel as well, but will they come back with the diesel in the market? Is anybody's guess at this point in time. It's definitely a large volume for Maruti to have lost, but and are they going to make a very strong effort to go that direction? Well, no one can really say at this point in time. We just have to play a wait and watch game. But is that new BS6 diesel going to come in the Ertiga or in some of the other vehicles as well, the Brezza or anything else that it could offer, that in Ciaz and all of those included? We're not certain at this point in time. Maruti is not very keen on playing the diesel game. What we do know is that they're very gung ho about petrols, and that's where their focus lies. So I think this is not something that we can really look forward to coming out in the market anytime soon.
Okay, also Pradeep wants to know that the 200 NS or the RTR 200, which one should he go for?
Well, I would pick up the RTR 200 any day. I like the way it handles. I like the way it's developed on the racetrack and all of that. I particularly like the sharp handling dynamics of that motorcycle. I like that engine as well. And we also had that motorcycle in our long-term garage for quite some time. Reliability was never a concern. So yeah, I think, and I also like the way it looks. So I think the NS is a bit of an aging product now in terms of its design. It's quite old for that matter. I mean, you could do a 10-year challenge with the NS and it will still end up looking the same. So no, I would go with the RTR 200.
But Hem wants to know, when can we expect the launch of the Tata Altroz automatic? Is there any chance of a diesel automatic?
Well, Tata has been a little tight-lipped with all of their plans at this point in time. They haven't, since we do not have any information to share with you at this point in time. But like I said, there are a few launches that are in the pipeline, and of course, I think this could either be the Gravitas or the Altroz EV with more in the near future. That's what we're expecting. I think with a lot more emphasis on the Gravitas rather than the Altroz EV. I'm not sure how most manufacturers are playing out their EV game in given the current market scenario, isn't very conducive towards EVs, considering people don't have the kind of money to spend on an EV at this point in time. So I'm not sure if that will be the launch. It may be the Gravitas, but yes, I do know Tata Motors is preparing for a new vehicle coming out into the market.
Okay, we have a lot of questions coming in regarding the new i20. People want to know when the new i20 is going to come out.
Right, so Mr.
The
Mani
i20 also
with
stated.
us. Oh, sorry, but yeah, you take this.
No, sorry. Is Mr. Mani still there with us? Then we can definitely, if he's there, we can definitely get him to
No,
answer.
No, he's not there with us right now. But like he said just before he finished his interview, the pipeline for Hyundai India is on schedule. There's no change there. All the vehicles that they had in the pipeline is on schedule. And as from what we know, the i20 is their next big product coming out this year. So I think it is still on schedule, and around the festive season is when we'll see some action in that space.
Just a little bit before the festive season. I think most of the launches are anyway slated for the August and September months, and I think that is when we're going to see the new i20 out in the market, Rohit.
Okay.
All right, and maybe one more question. The Honda Africa Twin Adventure Sport manual or the Tiger 900 Rally Pro?
Tough question.
I think I'll go with the Tiger 900. That's purely emotional. Let's answer this question later. I think
if it's the Africa Twin with the manual transmission, I think I'd go in for that. That would be my choice. I mean, we rode these motorcycles back to back, and I thoroughly enjoyed the Africa Twin. What I don't like is the automatic transmission. I think it's absolutely stupid to have that on a motorcycle of that order. The manual transmission makes just so much more sense, just so much more usable, so much more practical to have on a bike like that. Otherwise, motorcycle was just fantastic. Great ride quality, great riding position. You can just ride it for hours and hours and hours and hours on end. Not to say that the Tiger isn't, is bad. It's just that, the Africa Twin, I think, would outshine it, Rohit, in a lot of departments.
I don't know. Like I said, for me, emotionally, it's a Tiger 900. So I think the only way to find out is when we get our hands on both the motorcycles and do a proper comparative test. And hopefully
I
that
think
should
so as well.
happen soon.
I think so as well. I mean, yeah, the Tiger has an emotional connect with me as well. I own one, and of course, I'm not riding it right now. But yeah, I still think somewhere down the line, the Africa Twin would definitely outweigh the Tiger. It's not, and it's
It
not just
could.
got to do
It
with the
could.
heritage and the legacy that it has got. It is genuinely a nice motorcycle to ride. Otherwise,
Yes.
All right, I think that's about it. We don't really have time for any more questions. But Bert, there is one thing that I would like you to shed some light on. It's been 3 months that we've been in lockdown, and it must have been a really big challenge to get the magazine out. But there has been plenty for readers to look forward to. The June issue is out right now. Some more light, can you tell us something more about that as well?
well, yeah, we've been working consistently. We've been working very hard to get out a magazine in these times, these trying times, especially where there isn't much that you can ride or drive. So yeah, the two-wheeler section is of course taken a hit because there's really not been any motorcycles that we could have ridden over this period of time. But yes, some cars have been accessible to us. We've pushed very hard and gotten this story, the comparison of the Seltos and the Creta, a very, very important story. Read about that. We've also got this exclusive on the new GTR that's come out in the market, where we spoke about it last week. And that's of course there in the issue. There's also, we've got managed to get our hands on the Octavia RS245, and we've driven that car as well. So there are some interesting stories, and unfortunately we're not taking the stance of printing the issue this time, so you will not get a hard copy. That's also because a lot of our subscribers, they will not probably get the copies in their hands, simply because deliveries are still not happening consistently across the country. There are still transportation issues in several places, and we wouldn't like some of our subscribers to get the copy while others don't. They've all paid for this otherwise, and we do assure those people who subscribe to the magazine will definitely get the magazine across to you. We will definitely extend the subscription for you. We will definitely do something or the other that will keep you enjoying the magazine. But for now, it's just going to stay as a digital copy and nothing else.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this week's show. There's some exciting news as well for our viewers before we sign out today, that tomorrow we're going to be resuming the Overdrive TV show as well. It's been 3 months. We've been looking forward to this. We had shot a couple of stories just before the lockdown. So tomorrow, 1 p.m. on CNBC TV 18. Don't forget to tune in. And if you do forget, on Sunday, you should tune in at 12:30 or 8 p.m. Just before we say goodbye, I'll just leave you with some images, some visuals of what we have on this show.
I mean, we're not gonna move out from this whole live concept. We're still gonna continue doing the live shows for you on Friday in the evening, irrespective of where we are in the world. Once everything normalizes, also, despite all of our travels, we will still try and make our efforts to come to you live. So either Rohit or me or Sohini will definitely be there to manage this show, this 1 hour live program for you guys as well. So enjoy it. I think it takes a lot of effort to do something of this sort, but the fantastic team that we have here at Overdrive has been managing to pull this off, and we'll continue to do this, and we'll continue to take those questions that you keep having for us week on week, and we do hope we reach a point where probably an hour wouldn't be enough to answer all of those questions.
That's true. So I'll just leave you with some visuals of what we have on the show tomorrow. We'll see you next week as well.
I'm not going to call it a facelift, so let's just call it a midlife makeover. The moment you show this car some corners, it feels a lot more confident. Whether you're driving alone or with a full house, it feels a lot more composed.
BMW definitely knows that pleasure of driving. You enjoy the whole experience of driving a BMW. They're sporty. This is where the all-new 2 Series steps in.